the fashion label that emerged as a result of the magic and strength of relentless struggle. It was almost extinguished before one woman arrived. In 1914, Mario Prada and his brother Martina established Prada as a retailer of leather goods. The store offered leather goods, including handbags and imported English steamer trunks, at a time when leather was fashionable in northern Italy. Fratelli Prada, which is Italian for Prada Brothers, was the name of the business. When Prada was named the official supplier of the Italian royal house, his fortunes quickly changed. In 1919, Prada was permitted to replace the rope motif in its trademark emblem with the coat of arms of the House of Savoy. It is a symbol of the Italian aristocracy because of this significant honor. This distinction makes Prada's past much more intriguing. Due to the patriarchal culture of the time, Mario Prada did not think that women should work outside the home and did not employ any of his female relatives. Ironically, his only child had no interest in joining the family business. Mario Prada's ban on women working in the family business at the start of the 1950s caused the business to falter. When Mario Prada passed away in 1958, there was no one else to take over, so Luisa Prada, one of his daughters, finally did. Maria was Luisa's daughter who was born in the same year. Maria Bianchi was raised in a prosperous family. The father of Luigi Gino Bianchi, the second of 3 children, ran a business that manufactured putting green mowers. After receiving a Ph.D. in political science from the University of Milan in 1973, Maria began her career in politics. During this time, her views on feminism and left-wing politics changed. She joined the Italian Communist Party, regularly handing out flyers at rallies, and spent about 5 years studying mine at Milan's Ciao Piello. She changed her name, joined the Prada family business in 1970, and eventually rose to the position of manager of one of the 2 remaining Prada boutiques. When she became the company's CEO in 1978, it had only 1 store left. She hired Patrizio Bertelli, an Italian leather goods manufacturer she had met the year before at a trade show where he was hawking Fratelli Prada knockoffs, to be her main supplier. The brand had been struggling financially for years at the time and was still primarily known for producing leather goods. As Miuccia Prada changed the direction of the House of Prada and led it towards the world of couture, other fashion labels like Gucci had taken their toll. One of the few female fashion designers who has had an impact on women's dresses is Mua Prada. Around the same time that Mua took control of the Prada label, she got married to Patrizio Bertelli. Mua was left to focus on the development of the new Prada aesthetic while Belli took over the role of business manager. Mua had been using the nylon fabric known as Poco to make waterproof black backpacks. She first introduced the classic Prada handbag in 1970, it was uncomplicated, svelte, and made of black nylon. Due to its high price tag in 1985, the bag was both practical and stylish in addition to being durable and functional. There was a glut of imitation designer goods on the market. This did nothing more than raise demand for authentic designer goods. Sales of the Pocono handbags skyrocketed, possibly as a result of their similarity to the more expensive leather Chanel handbags, and soon the fashion elite, including actress and model Jerry Hall, started to carry them. The business expanded its line of products in 1979 by introducing footwear. Positive feedback was given to its first shoe collection. The business expanded and gained more notoriety. Prada has added new markets to its direct-owned retail network all over the world. Both the clean aesthetic of the establishments and the distinctive shade of green on their walls helped to distinguish them. In Milan, the hue was given the name Prada Green by Degas. Following the debut of the first green store, there were shops in Paris, London, Madrid, Tokyo, and London. You may be aware that other fashion houses produced designs in the 1980s that played with sexuality, using frilly lace and brightly colored clothing that was low cut at the top and short cut at the bottom. Other brands started introducing sexuality-based designs in the 1980s. Fashionable clothing featured a low cut on top and a short cut at the bottom and was frilly, lacy, and brightly colored. The Preta collection from Prada was then displayed on the runway. 1989 saw the success of simple, elegant products with clean lines, plush fabrics, and neutral colors. In addition, the fashion industry took notice, and the most prestigious designer goods saw an increase in popularity. The progressive ideals of Muexia Prada were frequently seen in her designs, which stood in stark contrast to the overtly sexual appeal of many of the brand's rivals. Designing the industry cliché that sex sells to produce a tasteful aesthetic that flatters the physique while maintaining modesty, causing a re-evaluation of femininity. Clean, uncomplicated lines, muted basic colors, and exquisite tailoring were combined with opulent fabrics. At the end of a decade of excess, Prada's image of casual luxury caught people's attention, and the brand quickly started to be associated with sassy, intelligent, and wealthy working women. In the early 1990s, Prada started to expand the brand further by starting a perfume line and other spin-off clothing lines, like New Mule. In 1992, Prada Miller, later known as the Prada Foundation, changed its name to reflect its mission to support diverse emerging modern designers, including architects. Musa Prada and Bra also founded the group Artist in 1993. In the same year, Prada launched a menswear collection. In 1995, Hollywood actress Uma Thurman wore one of Prada's gowns to the Academy Awards ceremony, catapulting the fashion house to global status. In order to form Prada BV, later known as Prada, and Prada Spa, a holding company for the Prada group of companies, Prada and Bottega officially merged their operations in 1996. Prada launched Prada Sport, a sports brand that was later renamed Linea Rossa, and Bottega started a string of high-profile acquisitions in 1999, including Helmut Lang, Jill Sander, and her fashion houses, as well as stakes in fashion firms like Fendi, which turned the Prada group into a multi-billion-dollar fashion empire. The 1990s saw the growth of the Prada aesthetic. Several developments in fabric and design are attributed to Muexia. She played around with unique and novel fabric combinations and embellished her clothing with everything from beaded latex to mirror pieces. The final product's quality has remained constant despite all of the testing. By the beginning of the 21st century, the Prada Group's yearly sales had surpassed $1 billion. However, the group was burdened with a comparable amount of debt, which forced Prada and Bali to start selling or liquidating their purchases, including the Helmut Lang and Fendi stakes previously mentioned. On September 8, 2001, Prada was also scheduled to go public, but the September 11 attacks forced an indefinite postponement. Sales for the business totaled $1.4 billion in 2003, and profits rose by 33% to $38 million. Prada and its rivals in that year had to deal with both cheap Chinese imports and subpar knockoffs. While other European businesses have responded by moving their production to low-wage nations like China, Prada has continued to have all of its clothing, handbags, belts, shoes, and other items made in Italy. During the ready-to-wear fashion show for Spring/Summer 2009, which took place on September 23, 2008 in Milan, attracted a lot of attention because all of the models on the runway were precariously balanced. A few of them fell, and 2 models passed out in front of the photographers, needing help from bystanders to get up and continue walking. During the finale walk, they took off their shoes, and one model, Sigrid Agrin, had to stop and turn around because she could no longer walk in her high heels. It was Prada's first significant public blunder. These socks were slippery and moved around inside the shoes. Musa Prada added that the store-bought heels and shoes would have lower heights. In the end, those shoes were never sold. On June 24, 2011, the company finally listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange after 10 years of trying to raise $2.14 billion. However, Op and Bloomberg reported on June 7, 2011, that it fell short of expectations. In 2015, Prada generated $3.7 billion in revenue, up 1% from 2014, but a gross operating profit of $995 million, down 16.5% before March 2018, when sales started to pick up. Following that announcement, the company's stock increased 14% after declining since 2014. Since then, things have been improving, as the hiring of renowned Belgian designer Ralph Simmons strengthened the business even more. Since his departure from Calvin Klein in 2018, Ralph Simmons' upcoming move has been a hot topic in the fashion industry. The Belgian designer was rumored to be launching his own label or returning to one of the companies he had previously led. For the Prada brand, the relationship marks the start of a new dialogue between two of the most well-known and influential designers working today. Conceptually, it's also a novel approach to the core idea of a fashion house's creative direction, especially when it's stored under Prada. The partnership is just one more example of the business's dedication to trying new things, pushing the envelope, and keeping up with the culture changes within its sector. While the unique principles and ethos of the Prada brand will not change. The exciting future that Ralph Simmons and new Cheer Prada see for Prada is reiterated in this original, imaginative story. Have you heard about Prada's lengthy history? If you have any additional information to add to this video, please do so in the comments section. If you're looking for more motivational business videos, be sure to visit our channel.